Can we have that usual issue about 22 and 23? So where's Travis Boak fit into this side?
Trav will be sub this week. He'll play and be a part of the side. We got a full game into Travis in our last home and away game, which was pretty good timing, and we're optimistic around what Trav can actually influence a game like this when he gets to come on the ground.
The players that you brought back in, just go through one at a time. Scott Lystead, how ready is he?
Yeah, Scott's good. We've had the bonus of getting 2 games into him at Sanford level, which was really, really important for us, and he's in pretty good shape at the moment, and we're optimistic around what Scott means to us when he's in good form.
Trent McKenzie?
Yeah, because, timing. It's amazing what the timing with what happened with Tom at training. So Trent was significant in for us this week, given that Tom wouldn't have played anyhow. So the reality was getting Trent back is pretty important.
Can you just work us through what happened to Tom Jonas and where he stands?
He had a calf injury at training yesterday, very much within the last 2 minutes of training, unfortunately. And we haven't got all the information back yet on scans and details on, but it would look like a significant calf injury, which obviously will put Tom right behind the 8 ball to make some impact later on.
And Todd Marshall, how much better is he for the break that he's had?
Yeah, certainly in a fair bit better shape for having the last game off and then having the bye in between as well. So Todd he's had a pretty tough year with managing his body through the season, but he's in as good a shape as he's probably been in at this point.
When you watched last night, Ken, did it give you a taste of what's to come in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, it was an interesting game. It was a contest goes up in finals. It's just what it is. The numbers don't always tell you the true story. Melbourne had a lot of football and a lot of everything else, but Collingwood won the game. So you just got to do everything right in finals.
Do you feel like Brizzy's start is the key to them? They're 13-3 when they lead in the first quarter. Is it a matter of jumping them as best you can?
Oh, no, look, the game, 4 quarters, you're going to have to play the whole game. And, there's going to be moments in the game where one side's on top. Let's hope it's not early in the game that Brisbane have their turn and we get our opportunities. But I expect the game will be a tough, hard game like last night's game and probably go right to the wire.
In terms of where your team's at, your experiences in prelim finals and big games past, how have they played a part in preparing you for this one?
Well, that you've been there and you've done that, and so have Brisbane. So we've both got quite experienced teams when it comes to playing finals football, but we've both also had our challenges through the back end of finals football. So both teams get an opportunity to use their experience and come out on top.
When do you expect the results of the scans
for Tom? Look, I'd get them sometime today, I'd imagine. Again, I haven't seen the doc or anyone this morning, so I'd imagine I'll get some updates on that possibly this morning, but maybe later today.
It's a long time ago. How much can you take out of round 1?
Not much. We won, but it was quite an interesting game when you look back at round 1. Both sides were at different stages. We were coming off an average couple of pre-season games. Brisbane were playing really well. Maybe we got them at the right time. I just have great admiration for what they are and who Fags is and the way he coaches their team. They're a brutally tough team who you're going to have to play 4 full quarters to win.
How different are they at the Gabba?
The results are pretty obvious. They're much, whether they're a much better team or not, I don't know, because I think we've had 7 games away this year we've won. So it doesn't. Those things are not that big an influence once the game starts. It's the team who comes out and plays with the most, I suppose, composure and calmness in their game that'll end up on top.
Not that many pundits thought you'd make the 8.
No, they didn't, did they?
Not that many tipsters thought of picking you this week. Do you guys like the underdog thing?
No, look, it doesn't. Look, for us, we don't feel as like we're an underdog. We feel like we've qualified equal second. I think people forget that we won 17 games for the year. That's a mighty effort by any team, and we go up there with full of confidence and knowing that our capability is one that can challenge any team in this competition.
What's more challenging, your defensive matchups or making sure team defence holds up?
Oh no, I think your defensive team effort is what's critically important in any team and any result. We've seen again last night. One team had to hold up to 30 more entries, and their team defence held up, not just individuals.
Ken, this time last week you're coming back from Melbourne. Why was it important to go to Melbourne to meet with Brody?
No, I didn't go anywhere to meet with anyone, and I'm not going to comment on anything specific because I've got a fair bit to do this week, and it really is to talk around what this game is and what we're trying to focus on. Look, list management stuff goes on all year round. I read what Goody said. It's pretty clear that those things happen in this industry. We're all aware of those things happening, and if you've got a good list management team, that should be happening.
Not to suggest that you're not to take anything away from that Brisbane game, and I was going to ask you about Simon saying it's all part of the landscape. Can you share anything on on what the pitch might have been and why you felt?
No, that's what I said. I'm not going to talk around anything to do with list management today because we're talking around finals football, and I think that's where we should keep our focus, and that's where my focus has been right through the last week and a half. And look, I'm involved with a lot of list management discussions with Jason, but that's Jason's job and Chris's job to make sure those things go on, and we do our part in that right through every season, and we have done every year.
Can you tell us about Oppenheimer and why you chose that as a theme?
No, again, I mean, theming in football is something, and you all know that when every club has some type of theme that they may or may not use. This is not a significant part of our. We'll have a different focus on this week's game. So the key part about that, as I think Ollie explained it incredibly well, is that it's just a little story around how people had to come together over a long period of time to work really hard on one single thing to get an outcome that we're trying to get. And for us, we've been at this task for a good period of time, 4 or 5 years. I'm not just talking this year. We've been talking about the way we've had to work on this team and the way we play our football now over a 4 or 5 year period. And that's exactly what we've tried to do, and that's kind of what we've talked around. I haven't seen the movie myself, so it's not that big a theme for us.
So the outcome they achieved was one that killed all the people, obviously.
Yeah, and that's a silly question to ask.
No. That's just the outcome that they achieved.
Yeah, that's a silly question to put in the same conversation.
In that context by some.
No, I can't. No, because you're inaccurate with what the theme was around them and what we've talked around with that. It was talked around, and I just explained. I think you may have been late to the press conference. I just explained it was around a group of people coming together and the need to work together to get an outcome. Let's not go to that dark spot that you're trying to take it. I think it's unfair.
That was the outcome.
Yeah, it's an unfair thing to throw up that you think we're talking around that.
That was the outcome of Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie, boys, so.
So I think the conjecture was that, I mean, there have been a lot of things in the past where people have worked together and they've had negative outcomes. Maybe there could have been a bit more appropriate.
No, I think that's really unfair. That's all I'll say.
That's the question.
Yeah, no, I think it's a question I'm going to answer with. I think it's an unfair response to what you think we're trying to achieve. Do you know Port Adelaide Football Club? Do you know who we stand for? We stand for community. We stand for our people.
I'm not suggesting that. I think
Well, it sounds like you are a little bit.
No. Maybe it just might have been a misread because.
Maybe it's a misread then. I'll sit with you on a misread.
Yeah.
Why are you better than 20 and 21?
Why are we better?
Yeah.
Oh, we've got experience. There's no doubt we've got experience. We've got people who have grown in their games, and that will always keep us in a better position. We'll do our absolute best to show that we're better, but there's no guarantees.
Was Orazio close?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, no, he got close, and he's still close because, unfortunately, with the sample side now out, we don't get to play games. We just get to train. But he's come back from a long way back and has put together some strong form. So, if needed, Orazio, Frank, there's a few people sitting there waiting to play. Jace Burgoyne, Riley Bonner. So we've got a good bit of depth behind us.
Frank's been pretty good. It feels like a couple of games he's kicked a couple of goals.
Yeah.
This week he's been unlucky.
Yeah, he's been really unlucky, but he's come to our footy club this year and played 10 or 11 games. I'm not even sure exactly what the number is. And he's grown as a player. I think that's really important, and he's a really valuable member of the team, not just on game day. He's a really popular person at the club.
Ken, what's the experience told the group of what we say that September's different to any other time of the year?
Oh, if you watch last night, you get a feel for why it's different. It's a combative game of football, and the best teams get there. That's the one thing that I do know. The best teams qualify, and I always say that at the end of 23 home and away games this year, you earn your right, and every team that's in there have earned their right to play. But every team also knows that the stakes go up because this is what we play football for.
What do you make?
Last couple of guys.
What do you make of your defensive profile just in general across the year? It's like the 12th most points conceded.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair and reasonable over the course of the season. If you look at the last month, a lot of people want to look at last months and say we're doing really well, and we're doing. Every team has patches in their season. I mean, us ultimately we're a high-scoring team who defend pretty honestly and front half footy, but when the ball gets through it can go through the other way. We know that if we defend poorly, we won't win.
The stats would say that Charlie Cameron's very good in every finals game, but at 200 as well, how fired up are you expecting him to be?
Oh, look, no more than he is every week, I think. He's a real challenge for any team, and as you say, his finals form is outstanding, and he loves playing at the Gabba too, I think. So we know it's a big challenge, but so's Joe, so's Lockie. There's so many players out there. This way, top two or three teams going to have good players in them all the time.
Are you comfortable you've got a good matchup for Charlie?
No one's comfortable about playing on Charlie, I wouldn't have thought. And what we have got is a number of players with genuine leg speed that play down there, which will maybe be needed.
How much do you emphasise what is on the end of this one? I mean, there's some discussions among punters that given you got a second chance, or clubs in the top flight a second chance, you know, there's a safety net. Obviously, you don't agree with that.
No.
Do you emphasise how important this one is?
No, we always do, because you know the outcome is as a week off, and preparation gets to be as good as you can possibly get it. You know, we've played in a couple over the last 3 years, and you know, we've had the week off. It hasn't always worked out for us. So I'll probably reply, if we don't win the game, it's okay for us. But if we're going up there totally to win this game, because we think the bonus of winning the first final is really big.
Did it change your mentality? Did it change knowing that the safety net is there? So
No. As our experience would show, we've approached these games with everything, and we go as hard as we possibly can, as we will this week.
You got a prognosis on Charlie Dixon?
It's getting there.
Getting there October, getting there November?
I think you'll see him in September.
Thanks, guys.